Hello and welcome to Geoscope on Hughes of the World. My name's Graham Hughes and I'm joined, as not always, but sometimes always, by Mike Dix. How you doing, Mike? You all right?
I'm very well, thank you.
Good, jolly good. I can't get my telly working. I might have to put it away somewhere and replace it with just the RGB Army. Big shout out to DDK in the chat, who was there very early, came very early. We've got Richard and Sarah and Simon and Diz and blah blah CW and Saz in the chat. If you'd like to join our friendly friends in the friendly chat, just hit the subscribe button and wait for a minute. Just don't be a troll. Don't be mean. Don't call each other names. So yeah, there's a NATO summit going on. Did you hear about this?
What? There's other news happening today. Sorry, while you're doing this, I'm just finishing a cartoon that I thought of today.
Okay, all right, you go do your cartoon.
Which the way the news cycle is going at the moment, if I don't publish it in the next 3 minutes, then everything will have changed.
Yes, exactly. Well, the big news in the UK is that Nigel Farage has resigned as an MP. He's going to be standing again as an MP in his constituency of Clacton, and no one is running against him except for Count Binface. The Lib Dems have said they're not going to run against him.
That's the cartoon. Don't ruin my cartoon.
What?
That's what I'm drawing right now.
Well, I'm just telling that people. Restore have said they're not standing. Tories have said they're not standing.
I know. Binface has
Lib
said
Dems
he
said they're not
is.
Tory. And Labour. Everyone said they're not going to stand.
I want to go to Clacton this summer and campaign for Binface. That's what I want to do.
For Binface. It will be the funniest thing ever if
if somehow we could get him elected. Basically, that would be awesome.
Yeah,
that really would be awesome.
So there's a NATO summit today and tomorrow in Ankara, capital of Turkey, and Trump is there. And he's remembered that Greenland exists. Apparently, he wants Greenland again.
Oh, good. Oh, it's they're definitely. I mean, eventually, he's going to invade Greenland. I imagine he just has to make sure that. What are we, about 45 days till the Iran war restarts?
Oh, probably tomorrow or something.
Yeah. Well, he had a 60-day deadline a week or two ago, basically.
Yeah.
So for negotiations to
2-week deadline.
He'll get bored, and then he'll have a couple of spare battleships, and then he can go off and ponce around the world like a fat Napoleon.
Yeah. What was it that Douglas Adams said about deadlines? He said, "I love deadlines. I love the whooshy noise they make as they fly by.
Whooshy sound they make as they pass by."
The alien, the moment, Binface, indeed. Is the dolphin standing? I guess so. I don't know. It could be awesome if he did.
I don't get the dolphin. What's the dolphin about? Is there a story behind?
Farage once got fewer votes than someone dressed as a dolphin.
Yeah, I know that, but why was the dolphin standing in the first place? Was it a local thing?
To raise awareness that dolphins are awesome.
Yeah, but they taste nice.
Mean?
Just trying out my new controversial views when I stand as a reform candidate. Because Nige is it's going to be like a Burnham moment for Nige, right? He's going to have this by-election. He's going to win an incredible mandate from the twats of Clacton, people of Clacton, and then that's going to propel him to an investigation that will lead to another by-election, which I'm calling a bye-bye election, because he will definitely go at that point.
I was considering stealing that joke from you, but I wasn't gonna. I thought I'd let you. I thought you'd have that one. A bye-bye election. I love that. But yes, because it turns out that the investigation into I almost said Boris Johnson, then they're kind of interchangeable, aren't they? The investigation into Nigel Farage's affairs.
Are they investigating that as well?
Will only be suspended while he's not an MP, and then as soon as he's MP again, they'll start investigating again.
Either that's total incompetence on his part.
Yeah.
Hubris on his part. I don't know what's going on, really. I refuse to fall into the trap of Trumpisms and think that the guy's got some angle on all of this that's that's going to keep him out of the investigation, potentially keep him out of jail. Did you know he was with Cotterill when he got arrested in the
Yes.
States?
Yeah.
I
That's
mean,
quite interesting, isn't it? Didn't know
and
he
the
was in prison.
stories, you know, when you see him talking about it and saying, look, the important thing is that I'm rich, and it's really important that I'm rich, and I've worked hard to be rich.
But the
And the
important
first
thing
thing he
is I am
said,
rich.
but the point is that he's been investigated for being gifts by people that call him daddy and are crypto criminals.
Yeah.
Right? That's not working hard to get rich at all. That's not the kind of person you want as a prime minister,
He
is
says
it?
he's worked
But
hard.
the first thing
to
he
be
said,
given free money by people.
the first thing he said when he said, in the interim period between politics, I was working hard as a lecturer. And you go, what the fuck? No, you weren't. That was no, you just weren't. Not dress this up like, I was doing charitable work, talking at universities, helping the kids understand racism. But no, he wasn't doing that. He was basically showing his wang to people from Northern Ireland and going up the Ra for 50 quid.
Yeah.
That's what he was doing.
That was what he was doing. Blah blah CW. Thank you so much for the £5 super chat. What the hell was that earlier? Did Farage honestly just demand a trial by combat over his dodgy dealings? What a cock. Also, sorry about earlier. Okay, don't worry about it. Just like in the chat, just try and keep things civil. I don't want people calling each other names and stuff like that. And just be respectful,
That's just for you.
Just a little bit.
That's just for you and me to do.
That's
you
me. You fucking asshole. But yeah, so there's only ever been this happened twice before where an MP has stood down on a matter of principle. And
matter of principle, come on.
And as a matter of principle, and then re-stood in the same election, right? This is fascinating. Okay, so it's happened twice before. Once in 1912, there was an MP who stood down. I think it was a Liberal MP, stood down because the government were not doing enough to give rights and votes to women, and he stood down, stood in his own election, and lost. And then fast forward nearly 100 years to 2008, right?
It kind of makes you wonder why he stood in his own election instead of promoting a female candidate. But okay,
yeah.
I mean, at least he tried. At least he tried.
Well, no, I don't think they could. I don't think women were allowed.
Oh no, they couldn't stand. Of course,
couldn't stand. No. It was Nancy Astor. I think was the first female MP. Hey, but the next one happened in 2008. And it was an objection towards the then Brown government, the Labour government. Extension of the amount of time that people could be held under terrorism charges from like 27 days to 48 days or whatever it was. And you'll never guess who it was who stood down and then stood for re-election on principle.
On principle.
Come on, 2008, Labour in government. Who
Boris
was?
Johnson? It can't be Boris Johnson.
It wasn't Boris Johnson, no. It wasn't.
Was it Labour or Tory?
I'm not telling you. You have to guess. Go on, give me some names of people who would stand down, because they'll be so upset about people being held without charge for like a month and a half under these new terrorism acts proposals. Who would make a stand who was around in that time?
Corbyn? No, Corbyn wouldn't do that.
Nope. Definitely not that guy. George Galloway? Nope. Not that guy.
Galloway wouldn't stand.
I don't think you'd be able to guess who it was in 100 years. I think you'd go through every single MP before you get to this name.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of who was even an MP in 2000.
It was David Davis.
Oh God, yeah, of course it was.
It was David Davis.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Farage is stepping down on a matter of principle. The principle being that his nefarious deeds should not be investigated.
Yeah, and he deserves to be rich.
And he's angry. He's angry because they put a picture of his daughter's house on the internet.
Which I guarantee you, and I don't care whether he wants to sue us or not, right? I guarantee you that he is hiding his dirty money in his children's houses. I guarantee that.
Oh yeah.
Like I know some reasonably well-off people who have tried to avoid paying tax, and they definitely did that. There are various ways that you can hide the loans to buy those houses, basically, or peppercorn rent.
No, he didn't get loans. He paid for all its £5 million.
No, you avoid capital gains tax on the daughter by buying a house, peppercorn leasing it to her, basically. So she's
Yeah.
paying for it. It's not a gift.
Yeah.
And then he hides the tax offshore, basically, in terms of the ownership of the house. It's like, I guarantee he's doing that. And I don't believe she's being harassed.
No.
I did do a joke earlier about the fact that he was more pissed off that the newspaper found out where his daughter lived because she hadn't told him.
But there is a picture available of Farage when he was on the campaign trail a few years ago outside that particular residence, because that was the house he lived in with his then wife.
Of course.
Also, there's a picture of him with his daughter on I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, which he was on when he was the owner and chair of.
I'm all for the fact
Reform UK.
that your kids are not responsible for the actions of your parents, and I can't imagine that Farage's kids like him in any way, shape, or form. But I'd like to think that's the case. But fundamentally, if there's the Times know what they're doing. I mean, that the team that's investigating this story will have spent the last 2 years on this story. They're like, it's the investigative unit. I can't remember what they're called. Is it the Insight team or something? They're the ones they're the investigative journalists that specifically are there for jobs like this, where potential legal action could be forthcoming, which is why the story's sat around for a long time, because I think they've dug in until they've got absolute evidence of what they're saying. Yeah. And the Times are very good at leaking stories and keeping themselves in the headlines for a few weeks.
Yeah.
So they know what they're doing. The story will run and run, basically. And Farage knows that. That's why he's done what he's done today, because he absolutely knows there's worse to come.
Yes.
Yeah. So by framing the whole thing as they're out to get me, it's two-tier policing, it's political weaponization of the DOJ. Oh, sorry, I'm not in America, of whatever it is we call our Justice Department. He'll be able to say he's a victim. He'll be able to fundraise for his campaign over and over again, even though he gets these gifts of £5 million from rent boys or whatever it is they do. I can't remember. I mean, I honestly think, like with Trump and like with Le Pen, their time is running out because the grift is just so exposed.
Yeah.
All right. And there's two good outcomes here. Either he runs unopposed and gets back into Parliament and is processed and there is a proper by-election after he's been found guilty, or he runs for 4 or 5 weeks and the press are just on his back because there's no other candidates.
Yeah.
Except Binfans.
Follow him everywhere. Keep asking the question, why won't you answer questions on where you got this money? No.
Yeah.
Did you have a meeting with the governor of the Bank of England to talk specifically about cryptocurrency? Did
you go and see Julian Assange in the embassy?
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah. These questions need to be asked.
And what we've seen this week is that he really cannot deal with actual scrutiny.
No, he can't. I've got a little clip
because he didn't get that in the 2024 election because there was a whole general election going on.
Yeah.
All right. So he just chose the easiest, safest seat to run in, and nobody really scrutinized him.
Yeah.
Well, this is just him. This is why he didn't stand. Sorry, go on.
This is why I'm just gonna play a little clip. This is Farage this afternoon. This is what he actually said. This is not AI. I'm just gonna run it through.
I am a crook. I am dishonest. 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 I am a crook. I am dishonest.
Did you get that, everyone? It was Farage saying, I am a crook. Over and over again. I am a crook.
Yeah. They just hand it to you on a plate sometimes.
I just, who wrote that? Who wrote that line for him to say out loud?
I mean, he's an influencer. He described himself as an influencer, so I'm surprised that he didn't realize that people could edit clips.
But I mean, that's the sort of thing that you think, oh, that's got to be AI, hasn't it? He wouldn't really say that. For those wanting to see, can I show them your latest work of art? Can I bring this up? Do you mind?
Is it? No problem. Which one? The bin one?
The bin one. I'll credit you for it. I'll credit you with it.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me do this. This is Mike's cartoon. There you go. So it's Peter Frampton comes, no, Trumpton comes alive. The people of Clacton face a clear choice. It's me or the bin. That's it. Did you already have a Count Bin face?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. All right. When did you make the Count Bin face? Was that a while ago?
Back in 2018, 2019.
Oh, wow.
I talked to him a little bit during that time as well, because I was effectively making propaganda on his behalf.
Oh, cool. You know, I've got
the genius.
The
genius of him is just picking out. Oh, beautiful! It's just his ability to pick out something like, I think the hand dryer in the toilet in Uxbridge service station should be moved 3 foot to the left. Genius! Look at that, beautiful.
Love him. He's actually stepping on the helmet of his old.
Is that from the movie or the politician?
It's the politician. That's Binface, because before he was Count Binface, he was Lord.
Yeah, because he was based on
from
the Buckethead, who was from Gremlins. Yeah. And he got sued, and somebody still wanders around being Buckethead.
Really?
Occasionally, don't they?
Oh god.
The guy, the movie producer that made the film that sued him, still turns up in a Buckethead costume once in a while.
Well, he's stamping on the old helmet. If you look closely on the model there.
Very nice.
SG, thank you very much for the £5 super chat. What is Froggage's policy platform? Vote for me so I can carry on being corrupt.
Yeah, that's pretty much what he said, though, isn't it?
Yes. That's perfect. We need to make a poster. We'll do a proper poster campaign. It's Farage, and it says, "Vote for me so I continue being corrupt." Thank you so much for the super chat, SG. That's very kind of you. And another one. Hi, Mike. Hope your move went smoothly. Wishing you well. From SG.
It did. I just had tea and cake with one of my neighbours. I'm very rural and local now. It's
good.
Nice.
Is it a rural? Is it a local place for local people?
Local place for local people. We don't like strangers around here.
Yeah. Davinator says, I'd laugh if Camp Binface won. I'm a bit worried because if Camp Binface wins, I might accidentally laugh myself to death. Could happen. Talking about laughing yourself to death, bloody hell, I thought Egypt were just about to win in the round ball competition. 79 minutes in, and they were 2-0 up against Argentina. And then Argentina won 3 goals in quick succession.
Wow.
And they won.
Talking of round ball, what about Trump's red card intervention?
Well, that was
4-1 loss.
The beautiful game. The beautiful game. There's nothing more beautiful than the beautiful game. And apparently he's an expert in it now.
Oh, did you see his? I mean, talking of press conferences, he did a press conference where he said, "I'm a pretty fine athlete myself. And I know about sport. I know a lot about sport. I know everything about sport." And then they issued a red card, and I didn't know what a red card was. You go, "We don't know anything about sport, do you? And you've never been an athlete in your life." Golf is not a fucking sport. I'm sorry, golf fans out there. Anybody that loves golf, it's not a sport.
Would Binface actually take the oath? No, I don't think he's going to win, but it would be really, really funny.
You never know. Listen, stranger things have happened. If a white suit doesn't turn up in this election, and I would say Binface is actually the equivalent of a white suit in this situation. He could be. If I were him, I'd be making a white costume right now. And just play on the whole, white man in a white suit. Let's vote for integrity. Basically.
Yeah. Commission Guru Murthy is saying Farage reset will mean the clock on his declarations also reset. So if there were other declarable gifts he received in the year before the 2024 election that we don't know about, he will no longer have to tell anyone.
It's all going to come out. And also the stuff, I mean, I don't believe he's been clever about it while he's been in Parliament either. I think it's just not really been dug into. Like he said in his speech today, I have never claimed a penny of expenses. Now, he did say the word personal expenses, right? So I don't know what that means. But in a way, that's an admission that he's been living for free in London in the House of, because MPs get personal expenses in order to have accommodation in London when their constituency is outside of the M25.
Yeah.
So, he's saying he's not claiming for that, which means he's been given that for free by the boy that calls
But
him
he has
daddy.
claimed like £150,000 of expenses.
Yeah, because you also claim expenses in order to run your local office. But the people of Clacton need to know how often he's been to that fucking office, basically, to justify that money, because he doesn't do that, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, everything I'm hearing and reading is telling me that Clacton will most likely re-elect him.
Yeah.
You know, I did say in the chat earlier that I thought the only way that you could stop him really is for all of us to back a Tory, and that got short shrift in the chat.
Well, yeah, no, but the Tories aren't standing a candidate.
No, exactly. That was before they came out. They came out first, I think, and said they weren't. No,
Reform came out first and said we're not going. We are going to stand, but in the second by-election after he gets kicked out for corruption.
Yeah. No, it's good. I think nobody should stand against him, basically. And every day that he's out there, somebody should be walking around with a counter like the one behind you, showing how much money that election is costing the people of Clacton, because a by-election costs the ratepayers in Clacton. It doesn't. The government doesn't pay for by-elections. It's paid for by the local council.
Oh, really?
So ratepayers in
Clacton. But then Andy Burnham got a by-election, didn't he?
Yeah, no, I agree. No, listen, I wasn't entirely in favour of somebody stepping down to let Andy Burnham become king. If you imagine a slightly different world, Burnham would have been running in Great Yarmouth against Nigel Farage in this election. That would have been a genuine sort of can I beat reform.
I wouldn't fancy his chances though. Anyway, so
but I did post a scenario earlier today, which would be, how about, just to give us some optimism, how about Burnham becomes Prime Minister during this by-election campaign? Yeah. England qualify for the World Cup final. Burnham goes out there probably with Liam and Noel to sing Wonderwall at the end of the final. And Liam, Noel and Harry Kane turn around and say it was because of Andy Burnham what we won it. Yeah. And then Farage loses on his jingoistic bullshit, basically.
Exactly.
Also, I think Saka or somebody needs to score the goal.
Yeah.
You know,
Marcus Rashford.
Yeah. Well, if they let him back on the pitch, I'm not sure they're going to let him back on the pitch.
Oh, really?
I don't know.
The
game the other day, he didn't play, did he?
No, he didn't play.
They're having problems with wingers and right backs. So.
Oh, okay. Camp Binface has tweeted. He says, Labour, Tories, Lib Dems and Greens, I demand you stand down in Clacton. I will be a unity candidate and pledge to build at least one affordable house. Nigel Farage says he wants the people versus the establishment. So be it. Leave him to me.
Good man. Good man. The intergalactic establishment. It's
going to be the showdown of the year.
Anyway. Well, I mean, hopefully it does one of two things. It either just reveals how fucking stupid our by-election system is in this case. I mean, you know, genuinely, this being non-partisan about it, this is the second time this year that ratepayers have been asked to pay about £250,000 out of their budgets. When, if you look at both the areas that have had to stand these by-elections, £250,000 would go an awful fucking long way to help, you know, the local community in one way or another. As Binface says, even if you built one affordable house, that would be a better use of ratepayers' money than running a by-election. Yeah. I did read somewhere or heard somewhere that Refuck were suggesting they might pay for the costs of the election.
Yeah. So they're going to waste that money.
Thai crypto money to pay for a fucking by-election.
Laundered Russian rubles.
Yeah.
Laundered into Thai baht and then back into pounds, shillings and pence. I know you're not really into the round ball too much, but have you clocked the Belgian kit?
No, I didn't see that one. What's happened?
So their shirts that they're wearing are a tribute to surrealism, to René Magritte, and they have these sort of beach ball things looking on them, but they're actually bells that Magritte put into it. Magritte's the guy who did the guy with the apple in front of his face. And it's got lines, and the bells go behind the lines, like in that famous painting he did of the woman on the horse in the in the forest where she's hidden by the trees, but she's on one side. And on the back of it, underneath the collar, here it says "Ceci n'est pas un malot," which means this is not a jersey. From his famous "This is not a pipe."
Beautiful.
How cool is that?
I love my Greg.
Do you know what? I love attention to detail, and they've gone, let's do a celebration of Belgian
highly
surrealism.
sophisticated. That's beautiful, and much better than using Tintin, which would not have really. Trump would have liked that.
Great snakes, Captain Haddock. These Congolese people are getting ideas above their station.
Good gosh.
Sorry. But yes, there is.
That's beautiful. I love that. I just looked at the kit.
Isn't that really good? And in response, if I just get this up for everyone, Mike can't see this, so I'll send this to you separate, Mike. Hang on. This is what's been going around on social media in response to the. I'll bring it up on the screen here. One sec. Can you see that? Did I send it to the right person?
Yeah.
How good is that?
Ce n'est pas un carton rouge.
Ce n'est pas un carton rouge. This is not a red card.
This is not a red card.
Very good.
I did a cartoon about I've been reasonably prolific for the last couple of days, which is nice. Maybe it's England doing well.
I was very impressed at how fast you got the Farage stuff out this afternoon. He barely stopped speaking.
I like there's a muscle memory from the early days during Brexit where you would see a news story starting to bubble up in the morning, and you think, okay, well, this is going to go one of two ways, so I can start prepping for this. And then all I needed was to know what the backdrop looked like, basically, so that I could just drop that into the joke. But I did a cartoon about the red card situation.
Yeah.
And I think I had the king ringing Infantino.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he says, no, it's not about the penalty. That was absolutely, it's not about our red card. That was absolutely justified. I want you to suspend Trump from going to the final if we get there.
Yeah.
And the number of comments from idiot right-wingers and Americans, which I'd say are probably one and the same thing as a rule, about my understanding of football rules. I'm like, the joke's not about football, basically. Oh no, but if you issue a red card using VAR, there's only 2 seconds. Get your fuck off! Fuck off! I don't care.
I don't give a
Simply don't care. Don't explain the offside rule to me. I don't want to know.
Well, technically, yes. Indeed. Okay. Can we talk a little bit about what's going on around the world? Because we've talked for half an hour now about Farage and stuff. Well, I suppose we talk about the World Cup. That is quite worldly.
What has happened at NATO? I haven't paid any attention.
They've met up. Fucking Farage. Trump has said that Greenland should be controlled by the United States, not Denmark. He had to be helped off the plane and to be helped to go the right way by Erdogan, who met him on the tarmac, and he was trying to go off. You know, like people who have got dementia kind of just wander off.
Yeah.
In any direction. Like those old Tomy robots you used to get in the 1980s that would just go in a certain direction, they'll hit a wall, and then they'll turn left and then keep going. He's one of them. So Denmark's Prime Minister, Mette Frederiksen, has said that Greenland is not for sale, again, for the umpteenth time. But Trump's not, he's not having it. He's not having it. Trump says that the US will lift sanctions on Turkey and consider selling Ankara F-35 fighter jets to oppress the Kurdish people, I suppose. In
exchange for a casino on the coast or something?
Possibly. Turkey was removed from the F-35 program in 2019 after buying Russia's S-400 air defense system. So they didn't want the two systems meeting and then them stealing.
Turkey is traditionally tried to sit in between Russia and the West.
Well, geographically, it kind of makes sense.
No, I mean,
oh no,
it is.
Mike is frozen.
It absolutely controls the sea that Russia needs to use.
Yeah, it does.
it controls the straits that Russia needs in order to access the Mediterranean.
Well, the Cuban Missile Crisis was caused by the Americans trying to put nuclear weapons in Turkey. It was the Americans who kicked that off, by the way. And then the Russians were like, well, we'll put nuclear weapons in Cuba. I see how you like that.
Everybody thinks it was the siege and the stand down that ended that, but it was actually the Kennedys going through the back door, basically to Russia, to the Russian ambassador to say, look, if you just pull away, we will quietly remove our missiles from Turkey.
Yeah. And that's what happened. There's a good movie about it, I think, with Kevin Costner, called 6 Days or 6 Days in September or something like that, which is really good. Anyway, so the reason why, you'll never guess who's upset about Turkey getting jets. You will. It's Netanyahu. He has warned against selling Turkey the jet, saying it could alter the military balance in the Middle East.
Good. Well, good. Somebody needs to.
But you're right. Turkey does really act like a gatekeeper between Europe, Russia, Middle East, Black Sea, US, and it has done for a long time. And it's quite right. You know, it straddles 2 continents, and it's the only way into the Black Sea.
It's an interesting a Ukrainian friend of mine. The year after the invasion, after she'd escaped, she went on holiday to Turkey. And she, halfway through the holiday, she came back to Poland, where she's living, because there were so many Russians there.
Wow.
And when you think that, Russian tourism in Europe, there's almost none now.
Yeah.
It's pretty limited. People are not really allowed to leave Russia for holidays like that anymore. And not entirely welcome, I guess, as well. But Turkey, absolutely overbrimmingly full of Russians, apparently.
Yeah. No, it's one of the few countries that I think they can get away with going to these days. You know, when I was traveling back in 1999 in Egypt, I would pretend to be Russian in order to get the touts to leave me alone, because they spoke so many languages, but none of them spoke Russian. The reason being, like, they didn't get any Russian tourists, so what was the point? And then after that, like, next time I went back, like, half the bloody tourists I met were Russian. So, yeah, it's just funny how things change. So I had to pretend to be a character from Star Wars called Bib Fortuna. And just talking made up Star Wars language.
I imagine you pulled that off, mate.
They wanna watua. And people go, what? Perfect. What are you saying? And no one knows what you're saying, so it works. Unless you're a big Star Wars fan. Can't Bin Face has been back on. And he says, Bin Face versus Bin Fire, bring it on.
Perfect. That would have been better for my cartoon, wouldn't it? It's too good. Too good.
He's got a lot more time to think of these things, I'm sure.
He's kind of in his brand most of the time, basically.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing it comes naturally.
Joe is saying, why not ask the residents of Clacton, would you prefer £250,000 to be spent on your own community or on a by-election?
Yeah, it's very true. Yeah, I think it should be brought up all the time. And I think this whole business thing, I managed to sort of turn it into a bit of a tweet today, but Farage was banging on about, sorry, we're going to go back to that, aren't we? But Farage was banging on about the fact that there's nothing wrong with rich businessmen being in politics. And in fact, isn't that exactly what the country wants to be?
Yes, that's what he said. He said that out of his face.
It has always struck me that there are certain voters, and I've met them, who say, Keir Starmer's got no business experience. And you go, yeah, that's a good thing. And they go, why? And you go, because a business is designed to make a profit from its customers and then share that profit with the chief executive, the guy who's running the shop, and the shareholders, his mates, basically, the rich mates. Do you really want our country run like that? Because that's how America's currently run.
Yeah. Hey, I've just pinned a message from Elle. Thanks, Elle, for that. It's for the Good Law Project petition. Please, if you haven't signed it, get over there and sign the Good Law Project. It's very good. Doesn't cost you anything. So we want to talk about NATO. Going back to NATO, Simon Smith's brought up the fact that NATO minus USA is going to fund and supply Ukraine with long-distance missiles. Bye-bye Russia's oil refinery systems. Now, apparently, the output from the refineries in Russia has been absolutely decimated. It's gone down by over 50% in recent weeks because it is these targeted attacks coming in. Meanwhile, the Canada has announced a $900 million support package for Ukraine, which includes air defense support. Norway has pledged 3 billion Norwegian crowns, which is about 229 million pounds, for Ukrainian air defense, including Patriot missiles ordered with Denmark, Germany, and Canada. Estonia has signed a drone deal with Ukraine on the summit sidelines. Basically, the NATO club is moving forward without.
We did quietly did a drone deal last week as well.
Yeah,
I think the Brits have finally worked out that we're not the superpower that we were. I think Keir Starmer's always known that, and we're now copying what the Americans did during the Second World War, which is America basically came over to England and said, "Okay, what are you guys developing?" And we went this, and this, and they went, "Great. Well, just give us all the copyright and patents to all of that, and we'll build it for you.
Yeah,
but we get to keep all the patents."
It was like Rutherford who split the atom, wasn't it?
Yeah, we invented the jet engine. The jet engine, splitting the atom. Radar, we invented radar.
Yeah,
it's like
television.
And we just handed it all over. We handed it all over to the States.
Yeah,
including the code to the Enigma machine.
Yeah,
which we handed over to America, and then America sold Enigma machines to all the European powers, saying it's the best encrypted system in the universe. And America just sat there reading all of our internal communications for about 20 years, basically. It's like genius. But this is what we now need to do, because Ukraine has become the world superpower in drone development and drone. You know, half of these attacks on Moscow and across the whole of Russia. They've got the Flamingo long-range missile that they've developed themselves now, but they've been restricted on how they could use American long-range missiles, British and French ones, less so the British and French ones recently.
Yeah.
But then they developed the Flamingo missile themselves, but missiles are incredibly expensive. So Ukraine has been building drones out of Amazon products for, from the beginning of the war. And then they've developed this amazing technologically advanced culture that now means that they are the world's leading drone manufacturer and designer. They're selling, they're selling drones to Qatar and Bahrain.
Are you not a bit worried that the way things are going, if you piss the government off, they could just send a drone around to blow your house up?
Yeah, totally.
So where are we going?
Listen, friend of mine, Tonya Snell, who's made some amazing documentaries. I've referenced some of them before, but she made one called Drone. That was the first major documentary that she made. That wasn't the first. I can't remember the first one. But then she did Praying for Armageddon recently, which is still on the iPlayer, which is all about the Christian money going into Trump's campaign and Israel. Huge amounts of Christian money from America going into Israel in order to fund bringing the onslaught of Armageddon. But she also made a film about drones, and at the time I was doing some work with her on it on the social media side, and I watched the rushes for this thing, and I just said, Tonya, it's a great film, it's a really great film, but your predictions for the future, I think you're probably wrong. I think you're probably wrong about that. I thought at the time, 10 years ago, I thought that drone warfare would still be government-based and military-based, and that it would be big drones, the aeroplane-sized drones, and that the problem would be about hacking those drones and therefore turning them on yourself. She predicted tiny drones in swarms causing havoc basically everywhere, and that's exactly what the Ukrainians are doing with drone warfare. So she was predicting this 15 years ago.
Wow.
That's quite right.
Yeah, wow.
The thing that always worries me about Ukraine anyway is that, when you create such a large military state, if that war ends, we are going to have to keep a real heavy eye on Ukraine. There's a lot of trained killers in that country now, and a lot of people with technology that could be used for nefarious ends if we don't welcome them into the EU. I say we, it's got nothing to do with us anymore, basically.
Yeah.
But, NATO and the EU, we need them in our team, not against us.
Exactly. Well, it becomes more and more important that that Ukraine wins this war, which, the way things are going, I mean, it could actually happen.
And arguably, that's what went wrong with Russia.
Yeah. Yeah.
that I think we took it for granted that they would just democratize, capitalize, and everything would be fine.
Yeah.
And nobody let them actually come and, I'm not, I could be accused of blasphemy basically, but I think Blair did try to bring Russia into the European fold.
He did. He did.
And and that failed for all sorts of reasons. But I think that's exactly what got Putin's back up over time, which led to the invasion of Ukraine eventually.
Well, it started
because
with the invasion
he was kind of
Georgia,
welcomed. He was kind of welcome, but as a unacceptable neighbour, really. And I think that all started to go wrong because of his own behaviour. Because
they
of his
put
own
the
behaviour.
welcome mat out for the first few years of the 2000s. They put the welcome mat out and we're trying to get Russia to come in from the cold, and they just decided, no, we like the cold. Blue Badger saying the Ukrainian Freya air defense system uses a Danish radar and other components off the shelf from around Europe. Still research and development, but Ukraine is literally MacGyvering the Russian Empire to death. I love the way you put that. That's very true. Yeah. It's very true. And they've struck one of Russia's largest oil refineries, the Obsk oil refinery. The strike caused a huge amount of damage, and the refinery halted processing after key production units were hit. And one of the issues that Russia's got at the moment, if it was anywhere else in the world, they'll be able to get the components that they need to replace the broken bits. They can't get hold of them. Iran had the same problem with getting their refineries back online and their oil production stuff. They have to make it in-house. There's no way they can get it from anywhere else unless they smuggle it into the country. It's very, very difficult for them. No, a bit more difficult. They can still buy stuff from China and India, obviously.
Well, and I guess Putin. I mean, one of his biggest suppliers of electronic equipment, certainly, and oil refining equipment was Iran. So yes. I'm guessing that's not happening quite so much now.
Well, Iran need the money, so they're probably selling stuff. I don't know. Iran's come out of that Iran war quite well, haven't
Trump's lifted restrictions on them so that they can continue to send stuff to Russia. So maybe.
But yeah, there were stories in Russia of people queuing up for the pumps for hours and hours on end.
50-mile queue. There's a satellite view of a 50-mile queue, basically.
I think people are going to go, fuck this, and start getting electric cars. And Putin's going to be like, no, not like that.
The history of Russian wars and failures is that the Russian people tolerate an awful lot, and then they snap. Yeah, basically.
And talking of Iran, in the Strait of Hormuz, tanker's been hit. An LNG tanker, and it was struck and left at risk of explosion after an engine room fire. This is so dicey. These LNG ships, we talked about them before. If one of them goes off, it is going to be like that big explosion they had in Beirut a few years ago, where the ammonium nitrate they had
the potential energy in one of those ships, because it's basically a balloon, isn't it? Effectively, like if you introduce a hole into that boat, and
a very, very cold balloon. Because obviously it's frozen down to minus 200 degrees or something mad.
Yeah, but you blow a hole in one of those tanks and let the air escape and warm up, basically. Then you're in trouble.
They've so it's not looking. It's still looking dicey to have to take a ship through that Strait of Hormuz. And meanwhile, things are looking dicey. The president of France, Emmanuel Macron, he was in Damascus this week, and he was at a Four Seasons hotel in Damascus apparently, and there was a bomb blast that went off. Two improvised explosive devices went off near where he was staying. Was that? It's been reported today, explosions rocked Damascus near the hotel where French President Emmanuel Macron was staying on Tuesday. Oh, that's today. No, yesterday. That was yesterday. Wounding at least 18 people. So wow. That's a bit of a worry. He's wearing his sunglasses as well. He's back with his reflective Ray-Ban sunglasses. He likes them. He'll tell people he's got an eye condition. That's what Bono used to say on it.
Yeah.
Why are you wearing your sunglasses indoors, Bono? I've got an eye condition. Yeah.
Did you read about this Ukrainian woman suspected of Monaco parcel bombing?
Yeah, so this was an attack on a Ukrainian, someone who used to be in the government or something in Ukraine, in Monaco.
Yeah.
And it was a Ukrainian.
She was found dead She was found dead in Kiev
Oh, really?
yesterday. Yeah.
Shit, I didn't know she'd been found. That's
Kind
pretty
of
bad.
those Ukraine stories always get me as well, where the story isn't quite complete. It's
Yeah.
like, found dead. You go, okay. It's just like,
Whoops.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. The good news coming out of Hamas. Coming out of Gaza. Hamas offered to hand over the administration of the Gaza Strip to the National Committee for the Administration of Gaza, which is a US-backed technocratic body. It'll be a civilian authority. This US-backed body has not been able to enter Gaza yet, but and Israeli forces still occupy 60% of Gaza, and Hamas still retains influence over security administration in the territory. But it looks like they might be up to handing over some of the power to civilians rather than Hamas, which is good. Bad news today about Marine Le Pen. She had her court case. A conviction was upheld, but her sentence was reduced. And as a result of which, she's not actually going to be in prison during the election. And therefore, she can run for president of France against who fucking knows? I don't know who she's going to be running against. Macron can't run again.
The good thing in Le Pen and Farage's case is that there is no evidence that once you've been accused of financial problems in the past, that there's no way that those people get elected and become president of America. So there's no, there's no precedent.
It's deadly, isn't it? It's deadly. So yeah, but she's going to have an ankle tag if she decides to go for it. Now, she said in the past that she won't do it if she has to wear an ankle tag. She won't run. But she's a right winger, so she's probably full of shit.
Probably lying. Yeah.
Probably lying.
Yeah.
But then it will be Jordan Bardella, who's he's only like 28 or something, and I don't think that the old nasty Nazis, the Vichy French who vote for National Rally, I don't think they're going to rally around him.
Do we know is Macron intending to run?
No, he can't. He's not allowed to.
They have a term limit, do they? So
it's like in America.
So Macron's problem is he's his successor, I guess.
Yes, hugely. Yeah.
And the fact that he created a party in order to win the presidency in the first place means that there probably isn't he's gone through quite a few prime ministers, hasn't he?
Yeah. Oh, Alexa in the chat saying Marine Le Pen has announced that she will run for president in 2027.
Yeah, of course, because why would financial impropriety cause you any problems?
He's adamant that the Supreme Court will void the previous two rulings, including the electronic bracelet. It'd be funny if she takes it to the Supreme Court and they go, no, actually the provisions that were given weren't stringent enough, so we're going to make sure you go into your hard labour for the next 47 years.
Do you genuinely think? I was wondering about the good people of Clacton today, and I was thinking,
person, there's probably only one.
Like I often do, right? Is why, in the face of evidence to the contrary, do these people support posh criminals, basically? Because
they want to be a posh criminal.
Yeah. I think that's all it boils down to, isn't it?
Yes.
I think at the end of the day,
it's who they want to be. They want to get away with shit.
They know that they do dodgy things. They know that
they're like the familiars around the school bully. They don't have the strength to bully anyone themselves, but so they look up to the bully and they hide behind him and hope that the bully doesn't bully them. It's that kind of mentality. The cowards, basically. And I think it's lazy cowards.
It's even more important than the racism. Like, you can play into the inherent racism of these people and say, oh, it's the Somalis or the Muslims or whatever it is you decide is the enemy today. But the reality is that it's more that. When they say Trump's my kind of guy, Farage is my kind of guy, you go, oh, what you mean is a pisshead who breaks the law often, basically. That's my kind of guy. Yeah. And I think Le Pen falls into the same category. In a very French, slightly intellectualized
they're like, we loved
way,
it when the Nazis were here. You knew what you were.
Mm.
You either someone who kept their head down and hoped they didn't get shot, or you were, you
make
were
France
part of the
Vichy
resistance.
again.
Part of the resistance.
Will that be a campaign?
Yeah. We should bring back
Make
Vichy
France Vichy again.
Mava. No, Mafava. That
That probably means something in French. Who knows?
So yeah, we've only got 8 minutes left before we hand you over to our lovely colleague Maximilian Robespierre, who starts his show at 5:30. So if you want to drop a couple of super chats in, we've got time, and we could get I could press the button for the confetti, which would be very exciting. So if you want to do that, we've got a few minutes left. Marine Le Pen, I'm just looking up the BBC now. She's saying, yeah, she is going to run for it. That story was published 1 minute before I went to her. That's so annoying. Stop changing. What I make notes before these things, you know.
I love the politics social chat. Like all the YouTubers in there going, "Oh fucking hell! I've just finished a video basically, and now look."
Most of the comments today from Phil were like, "This has completely destroyed my schedule for the week."
Do they have no respect for my video schedule? You go, "No, Phil, they don't." Obviously not.
Phil says, "I had such a lovely schedule worked out at the start of the week."
You'd think. If he was making videos about Lego, that would be fine. But if you're doing about politics, I think you've got to be prepared for the fact that events, dear boy.
Events. Yeah, I mean, if Phil goes away for a few days, he does his videos in advance, and he's got to pick them very carefully to be something that like can't possibly have to be shelved
something
because
general,
some of it generalized. Isn't Farage
was Attlee right? Was Attlee right in 1945?
What else have we going on? So yeah, I thought it was Wednesday for a moment. It's Tuesday today, isn't it? It's Tuesday. It's definitely Tuesday. I lost track of me fucking days with that, staying up all night for that stupid match. So that attack in Syria was today, not yesterday. So, China has done a missile test in the Pacific earlier this week. The test has drawn concern from the US and Australia, Japan, New Zealand, and Taiwan. And China did notify. I think they rang up Australia and said, "Hey, what are you doing?" And then Australia like, just having a barbie. And they were like, "We're going to fire a missile." And they're like, "Okay, mate."
Lovely.
Well, everyone know. But basically, it was a missile being fired from a nuclear-powered submarine, and it was a routine missile test. They said, which is obviously worrying for a lot of people. And Beijing is also reportedly discussing treating leaks or theft of proprietary AI technology as national security offences.
Fucking irony there. China saying there's a copyright issue here.
Really? Copyright? What?
Have you looked at Temu recently?
Do you know all these components that make mobile phones that are made in China? You know that they have maybe like 25% of them don't go to the main people who are buying it. They don't go to Samsung, they don't go to Apple. They go off to make really, really cheap Chinese phones. Yeah. Same components. So you'll buy a phone in Africa or South America for peanuts.
I can't remember the title,
it's got an Apple board inside it.
I was going to say there's a great book. I can't remember what it is, what it's called, but or who it's by. So that's really useful information. But it's about Apple's involvement in the making of modern China.
Rotten to the core.
Rotten to the core. That's it. There you go. Apple are heavily responsible for the problem. Basically.
The dirty iMac brigade.
But there's nothing wrong with having rich people running your country. That's what Farage said. Yeah. So we should welcome our Chinese overlords.
Yeah. Well, DeepSeek, their AI alternative, is apparently developing its own AI chip. Meanwhile, there's been a riot in the Gumbo in Sri Lanka, killing 26 people, which is pretty fucking grim. This is a prison that held 2,400 inmates. Now, the Gumbo is the place where there was, remember that shooting that happened a few years ago in the church in Sri Lanka? Yeah. That was in the Gumbo. Also, the place where I went for a poo in the same toilet that the Queen once pooed in, that was in the Gumbo in Sri Lanka. So there you go. And then, there's been severe storms in China. Obviously, it was the 250th anniversary of America over the weekend, and there were massive storms there because the gods were like, no, fuck off. So they had blazing sunshine, everyone got sunburn, and then they had this incredibly hilarious firework display that no one could see because of all of the smoke from the fireworks.
Yeah. There were some stats about the amount of poisonous chemicals. Like Trump was saying, it's the biggest firework display ever in the world. And you go, no, I think China beat you on that. Also, they invented them. But also the amount of magnesium people in Washington were breathing in for 2 days.
There was some horrific footage that came out of Israeli forces throwing a Israeli officer threw a stun grenade into a car during a raid on a refugee camp. So there were people in the car, and they threw a stun grenade in and then slammed the door, so it went off inside. And apparently he's been suspended. And meanwhile,
just suspended.
Yeah.
Okay.
And meanwhile, there's fucking wildfires in Europe, and scientists are saying that record wildfires show that Europe is failing to adapt fast enough to the climate crisis. And here's the thing, Mike, I don't think we can. We're talking about vast swathes of land that is wrong for the climate that we're going to get. So I'll give you an example. Australian flora and fauna has adapted to fire over millions of years. Okay, so when the fire sweeps through the area, first of all, it doesn't kill everything because the trees they allow the outside layer of the tree to burn off, but the inside is still alive. There are some trees in Australia that can't germinate until they've been through fire. And a lot of the marsupials know to burrow underground when a fire is coming, and so they do. So the marsupials survive, and then the stupid mammals that we've brought over from other parts of the world fucking die because they don't know how to burrow into a hole to get away from the fire. So there's a couple of examples, but because we've done so much damage to the natural world, the natural order, the natural environment, the natural climate, we're going to have big problems here. I think the biggest one's going to be about food.
Definitely, yeah. I was just looking up Spain. My son is on holiday in Galicia at the moment.
Yeah.
Which he described. I mean, it's to escape the heat in Madrid, which has been 42 at least twice this week. And he described Galicia as like the Spanish version of Wales.
Yeah.
But he said good food, mountains, and chili most of the time. And I went, I'm not sure about the good food thing, Cam. I'm not sure that describes Wales. Wouldn't be the first thing I'd have thought of. But no, a couple of years ago, I was in Madrid when there were the forest fires. You could see that even in Madrid, you could see the burning going on. The sky was red.
Yeah,
it's they're terrified in Spain at the moment, and it looks like Portugal, Spain, even France now. The borders of France, they're having major fires, aren't they?
Yeah. I do think that the two things of like we need to stop it getting worse, but also we need to prepare, and they're two things that Farage and his horrible little shills paid for by the oil companies want to stop. It came out today that Paul Marshall, the owner of GB News, has a huge stake. We're talking billions of pounds in fossil fuel companies.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. It's always struck me that, could we try and find common ground somewhere and say, look, can we all agree the world is getting hotter? It doesn't matter whether it's God or the dinosaurs or us.
Yeah, but then they'll say that. They'll say it's a good thing.
They
say it's a good thing, Mike.
Need to spend some money.
No, I've heard people say there's got to be more CO2. That means more trees done it, and animals will be bigger. Insects will be bigger because of all the extra oxygen, CO2, whatever the fuck it is. They say it's a good thing because more things will grow and we'll have longer days or something. They just don't understand science.
And meanwhile, it's like, don't look up because everybody I know is saying, oh, I've ordered an air conditioning unit. And you go, great, that'll really help in the long term, basically.
Well, if it's being powered
but they're not powered
renewables.
by solar. They're not being powered by solar. I mean, that's the big fucking lie about all of this, basically. I mean, I know we're getting close, and I've seen some of the stats you've been sharing recently, and I thank you for them. In that we've gone over 50% production with renewables quite often this year. And the rest of the world is moving that way as well because of, not least because of the Iran and Russian problems. But the reality is that, you buy an electric car and you go, yeah, I'm saving the planet. And you go, just check where the electricity is being made, basically, and how. Because fundamentally, when you're driving that in November, it ain't solar power powering it, basically.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it could be if it's a sunny day. Like the solar panels are a lot more efficient than they were. But yeah, with
I agree.
the new wind turbines that are coming online, I keep going on about them in Hornsea and Dogger's Bank. It's going to change things a lot for our
I just think
generation.
all I'm saying is, why don't we just say, okay, we agree with you, it's fine, you can believe what you want about the science of all of this, but it's definitely getting fucking hotter, and you oil companies are going to have to pay for us to make our infrastructure work in these conditions.
Yeah.
Which would be effectively a tax on them being more efficient.
Yeah, but they
You know,
tried to
because
do that.
if they can get
brought in a
themselves
carbon
down to
tax
net
in
zero.
Australia.
Yeah.
But
And
then
people
all
just turned it into a trading market for fucking.
Oh yeah, tax credits.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I think that there are things that we can do, steps in the right direction. But I think that at the end of the day, it is more efficient and better to have electric cars. It's more efficient and better to make your own power.
Yeah. But
even if we
it's
weren't
a
getting
double-edged
hotter,
thing.
it's more efficient
We
to
are-
have cleaner air for our children to breathe, so the little bastards don't all have asthma.
We have to be careful not to put the cart before the horse and make sure that we're doing renewables properly, because it's all very well it's like, you know, giving everybody a recycling bin and saying, there you go, you're saving the planet, but they're not doing the recycling. We're just filling a bin and they put it in the local dump. You know, you can make people believe that they're actually doing something, but we're not, and that's important.
Yeah. Well, we'll give it a go. But yeah, enjoy the rest of the week, everyone, and the football. If you're into the football round cup, there is one last match, I think, of the round of 16 tonight. So that'll be exciting. It's probably at 1 o'clock in the morning or something mad. Loads of really funny memes about the winning of the World Cup match between Belgium and America. Absolutely hilarious. And the fact that the Belgians, when they scored one of the goals and they were celebrating, they did the Trump dance. They did that to take the piss.
They should be deported.
There's a beautiful picture of Lukaku, who scored the last goal in the dying seconds of the match. And he's there in the foreground. And he's got his hands behind his ears like he's listening. And he's got these American supporters just there.
Yeah. They can't. I think America was just starting to understand soccer ball, and then they lost, and now they don't care, basically. So.
Yeah. So we've got Switzerland and Colombia up next, which starts at 9 o'clock tonight. And then,
Little insight. Maria was telling me, because I asked her how the England result went down in Mexico, and she was saying that Jude Bellingham has become a national hero.
Oh, yeah?
Because he consoled, I think it's Moma, the 19-year-old kid.
Yeah.
He went up to him and consoled him because he was crying.
Yeah.
And in Mexico, that's now made him a national hero, basically.
No, that's I mean, it is really sweet. There's been some really great sportsmanship on the pitch.
Yeah.
Not so much in Paraguay, but let's not mention that. But like, it has been the fact that Trump waded in with his fucking size 11s like a big massive twat and said, "Oh, we're going to overturn this red card." I don't know how FIFA get out of this one. Even UEFA's like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
You mean FIFA's reputation is?
Well, I mean, I didn't think it could get any worse, Mike. But here we are. We are.
I used to think very highly of FIFA. I mean, I've been surprised to find out some of the things the Nazis did. I used to think they were quite cool.
Anyway, the kicky wind ball, as Diz calls it. Hey, listen, you take care, everyone. Thanks so much to Mike for stepping in at the last minute because Ollie couldn't make it tonight. Before you go, give us a like if you like this. Hit the subscribe button and the bell notification icon. I'll be back at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning with Morning Brew. I'll leave you in the safe, capable hands of Maximilian Robespierre. Please say hello. It's a raid when you go over there. And until I see you again, I'd just like to say thank you very much for watching. Hello, good evening, welcome, and goodbye.